We just got to the office. Episode 3, we're sitting down with Laura. She is another mortgage loan officer in my office. And yeah, we're gonna talk about her experience that she has for us. So yeah, we're gonna see what Laura's talking about today. What kind of information she can give us, kind of pointers. All MLOs got like their own little secrets and golden nuggets that they like to use for themselves. We'll see how many we can get up out of her. My man.
What up, what up?
Hey, Angelina.
What you?
Boo, blow it up, man.
There we go.
We are lit. Our attorney, sorry, she's eating, guys. But look, when I say I got my lawyer, this is what I'm talking about. And she's a shark, so don't play with me, man, because then she's gonna come around. And then the man of the hour who I'm always talking about.
Man of the century, you said.
Man of the century.
Why have I been reduced to an hour?
Who I'm always talking about, my broker, man, Alex Bendien.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
And listen, I gotta say, you know, real estate never gets boring, does it, Charles?
Nope,
Never
it's always
gets
fun.
boring.
No,
It makes it challenging, but it also makes it fun.
that's the fun part, the challenges.
It really bonds people together.
Yep.
It's your clients, your associates, you know, everything is kind of like on a journey type outlook.
Yep.
And that's what's beautiful, I think, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, and the outcomes are generally positive. I would like to say we're more on the
Oh,
winning
we're
side.
like what, 15 for 15? We haven't missed not one shot yet. So if you work with us,
With this guy, we've had a perfect score. Shaq and Kobe is what you call
yeah,
it.
Shaq and Kobe,
You
man,
know,
we don't miss.
I'm the thicker, you know, the heavier one, but and he's the taller one, so it's a little bit of an inverse. I don't know if it's the best comparison, but he definitely gets the lobs. He definitely slams them home. And I just got to say, man, this guy's work ethic is intact. And, you know, when it comes to growth, this is a perfect example.
I appreciate that, man.
As a business professional.
Don't say too much, man. Don't say too much. We're the first ones to the office all the time, man. So let's get set up. Get ready for Laura. We need some espresso. What you drinking? All right, so when you come into my office to come work with me, you'll come and see 2 receptionists. Hello, ladies. And you can either ask for me, Charles, or ask the receptionist, and they'll go ahead and give me a buzz, or come get me, or I'll come up front. But yeah, it looks like they have some event going on in the conference room, which looks pretty cool. Where's the want? And we got want. Now, if I get too famous, you gotta lock that door.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Why are you late?
This is Loan Solutions team.
I'm
So
I'm about to be Loan Solution. Don't worry.
You're about to be Loan Solution?
Hey.
Okay.
All right, man. We are back with another one. This is Charles, aka iamstucci, on all socials. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I have my team member, my partner, and a good friend, Laura. Laura, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Laura Arias with Loan Solutions team, mortgage loan officer here in Boynton Beach.
Yeah, how long have you been doing this?
Oh, for a very long time.
I'm gonna ask her, guys. How long?
Well, I've been in real estate now for over 20 years. And
20 years? You're not even 20.
I know. Don't get me started. Me and Alex started in middle school.
I love it.
I've been a loan officer now for the past 5 years.
Okay. And how's everything been treating you?
It's been good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Love doing loans.
And you probably got a lot of golden nuggets to give us and the clients.
Oh, definitely. We're here to back you guys up 100%.
Yeah.
Because the whole process is terrifying for clients anyways.
Yeah, it is.
And we just got to guide them. And sometimes they get confused. They don't understand the process. And we just have to help them.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I heard from little birdie that you like to do a lot of investments.
I do. I'm
to do
really
investments.
good. We're really good at doing investments. We're really fast with the SCR loans. That's the easiest way for the first-time investor or someone just to jump into real estate.
Okay.
It's all about the property, you know, based on the property and the appraisal value. Make sure that the mortgage covers the rent, and people can get started in real estate investments. And I love helping first-time investors because a lot of people think they have to own a property to buy an investment property. You don't. You can buy an investment property without owning a home.
That was gonna be my next question. So if I want to start investing in real estate, you know, I don't own a home, but let's just say I'm a young kid who's made some money, but I still live at home with mom and dad.
Yeah.
and I'm able to make a move in real estate and not have to occupy it as my primary residence. Well, how would we approach that for me to like buy my first investment property?
Number one, you just need credit and money.
So where does my credit need to be?
You want to have a minimum credit score of 660. So as a young adult, you want to make sure that you have some trade lines, that you've established credit cards, auto payments, and you can get started as a first-time investor. And of course, money. 20% down is the minimum to purchase a DSC, to purchase an investment property.
Okay, 20% down. So 20% down of what? The
purchase price.
The purchase price of the property. So let's just say for numbers, the property costs $100,000. The investment property I want is $100,000. I just need 20% of that price.
Well, that's the down payment. And then, of course, you always want to include some closing costs. That could be about another 3%. So.
That's what I was going to say, about 3%. So let's just say just under 25% to get my first investment property. And then you have, you want to
some
factor
closing
in
costs,
closing costs, which is another about 3%. So I can get in for what, like 23,000? Is that what it is?
Yes.
23,000? That's a big piece of change.
That's that's not too big. A lot of people have that money saved up, or maybe they want to invest putting it in a car. Why a car? You lose value immediately the minute you drive off the lot.
100%.
So, I mean, real estate property to put, $23,000 down, I think is an excellent investment.
And to receive ROI from it.
Yep.
Now, buying this investment property, do the lender use the income that is producing help you purchase the property? Does it get factored into your income as like, so if I'm working my job,
That's right.
my income plus the property's income that it's producing?
What's great about an investment loan is that we don't use any of your income. It's all about the property. So we're going to look at the property, and definitely we're going to qualify the property based on the income that the property is going to bring you. So we want something that's cash flowing, definitely.
Okay.
So a DSCR loan is really easy. All we look at is the property. We're going to do an appraisal, and the appraisal is going to give us the rent value. What is the rent going on around in that neighborhood? And that's what we're going to use to show the bank, this is how the property is going to get paid back.
Gotcha.
This is the rent. So you just want to make sure that the rent covers the mortgage. If the rent covers the mortgage, basically you're golden, and then the loan can be closed pretty quickly after that. Okay. But the investment properties are, they just have to cover the mortgage, right? So if it's $2,500, then it has to be $2,500. If it's $2,600, it's a plus for the bank, right? So let's.
So it just needs to cover the.
Yeah, it just needs.
And you don't have to have cash flow. It can just cover the mortgage, and as long as this.
For the investment property for a loan, yes.
For it to take care of itself, as long as.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But as an investor, that's what we want to help. We want to make sure that there is a cash flow. We don't want you to get a property that's just at par and you're not making any money. We want you to make money.
How do you do that?
By looking at the property and looking at the rent values, and then we'll let them know, hey, this might not be a good investment property. Let's keep looking for ones that will cash flow.
Right, but you can always buy and like kind of increase rent, right?
Of course, that's the purpose. Yeah.
That's why I'm buying the investment property.
When are you gonna buy one?
I want to do it this year.
Okay.
Yeah, me and my buddy's been looking at some stuff, some duplexes. I think I'm looking up north, Fort Pierce. I was in Stewart yesterday and seen a lot of like land and opportunities. So.
Yeah, when you're looking into a place, you want to consider definitely the property's value, the median income, so you know what people can afford. So that way you can price it. Make sure you get a property that people are going to be able to rent out.
Right. If somebody wanted to work with you or I wanted to work with you, how can I find you?
You can call me anytime at 404-747-8214. That is my direct line. Here at Loan Solutions, we're located on Gateway and Congress. And again, we're your local lender here in Boynton Beach. And my email address is laura@my-lst.com.
I'll have all that in the description. You got any questions for me?
No. So, Charles, what are you working on right now?
I'm glad you asked. Well, guys, I am working on a couple of deals right now. A rental. We have a closing on Monday.
Congratulations.
Woo, woo. My client is going through like an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, it is tough. It's tough. Like I said, closings are not easy,
I know.
and we're here to help.
Working on my mortgage license.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I really am. I started my tax business.
Love to work with tax accountants. We need tax accountants on our side because there's so many loans and so many people now that are self-employed. We need to make sure that we advise them the best way to do their taxes, so that way we can help them qualify if they're going to use an income, you know, to purchase a property. Because again, a lot of self-employed people, the best part of being self-employed is that you don't have to pay a lot of taxes. If you can save your money, again, you can buy an investment property and start right away an investment.
Facts. That's what I'm doing.
That's right. That's what you have to do.
I'm buying property instead of paying taxes, and then use the property to depreciate the taxes.
There you go.
That's for another episode. Let me know what you guys think of Laura and her expertise and what she has to say. We're definitely going to keep doing more of these. All right. Well, you guys know where to find Laura. Her information will be in the description. Peace.
So that's why you guys laugh at Alex, because all his videos always look dark.
You know the mic's still hot, right?
Oh.
We're going to post that. Yeah.
Turn this off.
Alex.
Shut up.
So here at Home Solutions Team, yo habla español también. ¿Sí?
Yo no sabía que tú hablabas español.
Yeah, yo habla español. Loan Solutions Team habla español as well. We speak multiple languages here, matter of fact. English, Creole, and our favorite one, español. ¿Sí?
Sí. Es el favorito de todo el mundo.
De todo el mundo, sí. Sí, claro. También,
Claro.
también.
Muy bien.
So, here's another one of my favorite Spanish terms is, in order to buy a house, ¿qué tú necesito?
Sí, eso es mi favorito también. ¿Qué necesitamos para un préstamo?
Okay.
Es bien simple, los documentos. Nosotros estamos aquí para ayudar a los clientes cuando ellos pueden entrar a la oficina con los documentos que son necesarios.
So basically what she said in Creole, nous besoin d'un travail, l'argent canea, and crédit gain pour 600 plus, and then you can buy a house.
Estamos aquí para probarle.
Say what?
Say hipoteca.
Hipoteca.
That's mortgage.
Hipoteca is mortgage.
Right.
So guys, in order to buy a home, you need a hipoteca. Right?
That's great.
And then, all right, go ahead.
Credito. Hold on.
Mira, yo necesito credito.
Yes, credito. Credit.
Credito needs to be at
El mínimo,
el mínimo
580.
What?
580.
580.
Right.
That's
FHA.
580.
Yeah, 580 FHA.
See, I can understand it, but guys, the tongue is like a little different for me. So.
That's why you speak Creole and English and I speak Español.
Sí. Claro.
Sí. Oh, you like claro.
And también.
También.
We're homeowners, también.
También.
Yeah.
Sí.
One more.
Okay. Y la tercera palabra que es muy importante es dinero.
So basically what she said, the other thing you need is money, right?
That's right. Money is dinero in Spanish.
Dame tu dinero, di dispero en la cabeza.
No.
That wasn't good?
No, I don't even know what you said.
You like the stream? Thank you. You're a real one. I appreciate that. You like my hair? Yeah, I just got the hair done, man. I just got it done. I had to get it fixed because I heard you can't be looking homeless trying to sell homes. It don't work. So, what's up, Nespoli? How you doing? I'm from Palm Beach County. Who that is behind me?
Oh, I got that workshop and they needed some chairs.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure about what your schedule was. I thought you were coming at night. I don't know what the hell, man. You know, this sales is confidence, really.
Gotta be confident.
And aside from your initial confidence, you have to stay confident within the process. You got to be able to manage your client. And as much as they're hiring us, we're navigating for them. They're giving us the wheel in what is a very complicated, technical, and almost chess-like process, right? Because you're thinking moves in advance. You're thinking what the prospects of that value actually being what it's worth versus what the owner thinks it's worth, right?
Right.
And you have to be as data-driven as possible. There's a lot of delusion in every business. So the one thing is for sure, there's a lot of delusion.
The Lulus.
Yeah, the Lulus, you know, that could be a brand. The Lululemon, you know, of home owners that unfortunately, and I'm not going to say unfortunately because we had such an incredible rise in value, especially here in Florida.
Yeah, it was great.
During COVID, that I think, you know, there was a lot of new home buyers that settled into the prospect that, you know, their properties were going to stay propped up, I would say, by what was considered to be just probably one of the biggest migrations in the history of any state.
Yeah, that was
all at once.
Unbelievable.
All at once. When you're out there and you're Floridian and you see more New York or New Jersey or Connecticut, you know, tags.
Right.
You're like, man, what is going on? You know, like
Florida was wild.
Everybody's coming, and actually for us, you know, the prices were okay. You know, you were still paying $300,000 to $400,000 for a home, but for somebody coming from up north, they were used to $600,000, $700,000 homes. So this to them was extremely economical.
That was it was a no-brainer.
I mean, we were almost like one of the largest states that was undiscovered. It felt like. And then that just really, really rocked the boat in terms of, you know, how people saw real estate. It almost, and I saw it all the time, quite honestly. Looking back, I saw a lot of people already understanding where we were going to go in value and actually flipping homes. Like, I'll give you a full list, and I know like in 6 months I could probably sell it for 30 or 40, maybe even 50% higher.
Right.
Because I know the demand is coming, and it doesn't happen overnight. It happens, you know, with the pandemic. It happened, I would say, in the span of about a year till we really started noticing the difference in value.
Yeah, about a year.
I mean, those that got in before pandemic, whew, we dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
But those that were trying to try and buy after pandemic, even though we had the lower interest rates, they might have bought into a value that, you know, I don't like to say this across the board, but I would say, you know, in some neighborhoods, will never recuperate their value. It will be a very long time before they recuperate their value.
That's what I think. It'll just be a very long time.
Yeah. And it depends, you know. I mean, a home is to be lived in, you know. Of course, you got your investments. You have, you know, you have the ability to expand your portfolio with rental properties. But, I mean, your approach for most families is to be there for at least 5 years, I would say. You know, what's that, the average?
That's about average, yeah.
About average. It used to be a lot longer, but, you know, it just seems with, you know, our new economies and, you know, how people are kind of treating opportunity nowadays. The ability to work virtual, I mean, that's being a big jump in where people move, right? They don't necessarily have to be, you know, 10, 15 minutes from their jobs anymore. So, you know, they can pretty much, you know, migrate a little bit. You know, the movement is a lot faster. Also with the mortgage industry. I mean, I remember the days it would take about a 60-day closing. Now we can do them in 15.
Yeah,
I always say speed is the currency.
Speed is the currency.
Speed is the currency. The faster you can deliver, the higher your value is going to come as a professional. I don't know. I've been just enjoying being, you know, part of the process. It's like I'm in the ring every day. You know, you become, you know, not only an expert in the real estate industry, but almost a psychological expert, because you have, you know, a lot of people that have a lot of feelings with this process, and you have to be able to, you know, manage that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we become psychologists to a certain degree.
Yeah, and it's all right because I understand that, you know, this is all new to them, and like I've said before, for us it's transactional. We do this every day. For them, it's probably the one and only time they'll make this biggest investment of their life. So yeah, a lot of emotions are involved.
Yep. And all the way to the end, and then, you know, the rewarding part of it is this is not the type of residual business where you can almost guarantee even negotiating with that client or doing another transaction with them right away. There's all types of industries that can do that. With us, it's a long term. We follow what's known as life cycles. The younger a person buys, and if you have the privilege to work with them,
and you do a great job and you follow through and you give it a human, you give that person just a VIP experience, you're gonna know them through the rest of their life. They're as they move, as they expand, they grow their families, and even when they downsize.
Dude, I got my clients' kids who I haven't seen.
Look at that, clients' kids.
Yeah, who I haven't
It's
seen.
the next generation of buyers.
Right, I haven't seen them since we closed. It's probably about 3-4 years now. And I went and visited them, Cross's friends. And I walked into the home and the kids were like, "Hey, Charles." That really touched my heart. That, like, the kids remember me when they were like, you're very young when we closed on their home.
You
they're
help
all
a
tall and
person.
shit.
Yeah, I mean, a home is not necessarily where you sleep or eat. A home is where you build community. It's where you necessarily build friends, your connections. A lot of times where a person lives will dictate how much potential they have in succeeding in life. Really.
That's huge.
So if you're able to help them with the type of neighborhood they are expecting, and you get them with the group of people that they're comfortable with, you've done more than just sell them a home. You've basically provided them a kind of a roadmap, what their next couple of years, maybe even decades, are going to be.
All right.
So it's very impactful. They'll remember you. Like, hey, you sold me my first house.
Yeah. Dude, my first rental clients remember me.
And it always starts with something as a rental. I like to call it just a short-term stay while you make up your mind.
Yeah.
Well, actually, till you're ready to buy, because your mind should already be made up. And nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, but some people that have just become habitual offenders and continue making the same mistakes are the people that don't have the passion, they don't have the drive to help others succeed. And then there's others that are going to say, hey, listen, I learned from that. And, I could have done this a little bit different, and then just capitalize off the knowledge base. This is all handed down knowledge. At one point or another, I was asking all the questions. I've been privileged enough and to stick around long enough. They say the longer you stay at certain things, the better you become.
Let me ask you this.
That's really true with real estate.
Well, how long you been in the business?
Let me think. I started with mortgages.
Wait, do you have to get out your calculator for this?
I like to say 20 years. 20 years to everything. 20 years since I know him, 20 years I've been in the business, But I would say what was it? 2000, I want to say 2005, 2006, I first started in the business.
20 years?
Yeah.
I was telling everybody 30.
You can say 50. To me, age is power, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're moving a little slower, but then people move for you.
Yeah.
That kind of feels good.
Yeah.
You don't have to do all the moving, But yeah, I would say, okay, let's average it out. So I started with mortgages. At that time, I mean, it was so cavalier that you didn't even need a license. All you had to do was work under a person that had a license. Wow. Correct.
Wow.
So, I mean, all walks of life, man. Walking in, got a good mouthpiece, you were in.
Yeah.
That's what counted.
Wow.
And that, I would say, there was a lot of different ingredients that ultimately created that, financial collapse in almost the whole global economy. But we learned quick, and the industry got super regulated. So,
That's
it's always
thing,
a whole
right?
bunch of bad apples that spoiled the bunch, because everybody was making some, getting great income. I mean, you had entrepreneurs that were starting their own mortgage banking businesses at under 30. And that's when you sometimes have to step back and be like, hey, what are we creating here? Because when people feel like it's a little too easy, they might get a little looser in terms of like looking out. If you ever seen the movie Wall Street, you'll
Wolf of Wall Street?
No, that's the second generation.
Okay.
Just Wall Street, the movie, the initial one with Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen, who are now mummies. I mean, these guys are old.
Yeah.
But at that time, Gordon Gekko, which was one of the main characters, basically gave one of the most incredible speeches that any young man would have really attached themselves to. And they said, hey, listen, capitalistic economy is really sometimes built on the foundations of a fairly ugly word, greed. But greed necessarily cuts through a lot of the nuances that sometimes hold, a country, a state, or just an individual back, because it sometimes gets you up in the morning. And I'm not talking about like just greed, like, hey, listen, I got 10 mansions, 30 cars, this and that. I'm just talking about like wanting to get better every day, the greed for more, to do more, to become more.
That's a good greed.
Correct. So, I would say, anybody aspiring to get in real estate, look at a couple of those movies, because it just kind of gives you the tone of what was going on in the 90s and early 2000s. The Big Short was a really great movie. It explained almost things to a T in a very layman's way to, so the audience would not fall asleep, because there was a lot of nuance to this. Mm-hmm. But, I pretty much grew up through that era. But a lot of people knew it as or developed as a professional, as a subprime era. And, things were not as fast moving, but, the regulations were not in place to protect a lot of what was going on from a professional and consumer standpoint. So everybody ended up getting hurt. I've always said, everybody had their hand in the cookie jar.
Right.
It
was too easy not to.
Correct. And when, we live in a society where most of us have orders or procedures that come from above.
Right.
So if you even have, let's say, the government involved in stimulating this type of culture, everybody should own a home. No, that's not true. I mean, everybody should own a home, but not everybody deserves a home. Let me put it like that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're just not ready. Sometimes you're hanging by a thread. And unlike rent, if you're not, paying your mortgage, there is a heavy consequence to that. Mm-hmm. So I grew up in that tumultuous period, and it taught me a lot. It's kind of like if you learn how to drive, they put you on the worst road ever, man. That's how I learned how to drive. I come from Puerto Rico. That's what I got to say, man. Knock on wood, I haven't gotten in a car accident, like a real one. Yeah. Because, bro, I drove in the worst roads.
Yeah.
Potholes, cliffhangers.
Jeez.
Just horrible conditions. I mean, I don't know if you're ever going back to your country, but it's not 95, it's not Congress, it's not Boynton Beach Boulevard. You're not going in a straight line, for sure.
I've been in the Bahamas, and the way they drive, dude, my heart just sinks to my stomach.
And they're all like one way, right?
They're driving on opposite sides, and like, they're going around the curve and literally getting like inches within each other on these turns. I'm like,
you get used to that, but when you go back to that after, I got kind of conditioned to like, people say people drive crazy here. No.
No, you don't know crazy.
They don't know crazy till you actually get the crazy roads. And then people are still crazy there. And people, you don't have like, the police presence that you do here.
Dude,
you can really get away with it.
Man, there's literally no lanes.
You bail out of your car, they will not find you in that jungle that you just walked out into. But anyways, it was really, kind of that same concept where I kind of got into the business during probably one of the biggest real estate crises in the history of humanity. And I learned so much from that, it almost seems like, once everything started coming back together, because it will, housing is a commodity, housing is something that people need.
Right.
Once it started gluing back together and a new foundation was set, it's almost easy, man.
Yeah.
Not easy. It's never easy, but I would say, okay, I just went through some hell. Now, at least we can breathe. Now, we're up to the surface.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, there's always two sides to every coin, man. Where some people were losing, or let's say homeowners, some investors were gaining. A lot of people do. I would say a lot of capitalists, I would say, will capitalize off down markets.
Yeah, for sure.
No different than what's going on with the stock market. Yeah. People, they buy stocks when the damn thing crashes.
Right.
Well, why not?
That's the best time.
Depends on the company, but if you have your pillar companies that just went, dropped 30 or 40%, we'll buy it because people are still going to need those products, right?
Right. It's a discount. I just buying it right now.
Same thing with housing. But we dealt with foreclosure crisis like no other. Every other home was being foreclosed on. Me and Angelina, we faced what this is Angelina, our attorney, our house mom,
Yeah.
our office mom.
BTA. Don't worry, guys. She will BTA.
That
So don't play.
yeah, it's been a pleasure to work with her all these years because we both have very undesignated but solid roles.
No, you
So-
two are a solid team, and I
Yeah.
love being part of you guys' program.
And we both come
And-
from very different backgrounds. And
Yeah.
it's sometimes incredible how you can just gel with somebody that, who knows, if we wouldn't have met in business, whether I would have even or we would have even been interacted in the same room.
But I think that's how people start working together, is you see how the chemistry works in business.
Yeah.
You respect each other's opinion.
Right.
And we very often disagree, as you know, but it's a good balance.
It is. It's a great
You get to hear
balance.
someone else's perspective,
Yep.
and then you kind of try to find a good compromise in the middle for everyone.
But really, I greatly appreciate your cooperation with us. Okay, this is first-time home buyers. You're super excited, and yeah, I'm glad we're getting here to the finish line.
Set up a great place for me to come in and work and want to come to work,
Yeah.
which taking
Yeah.
advantage of it. Guys, it's been real talk, man. It's
That's
been
the real talk.
This my man Alex. All his info will be in the description. Angelina, her info will be in the description as well. Did you want to say anything?
If anybody has any title questions or questions about being legally represented, feel free to call me, 954-328-2772. Thank you.
What's the most rewarding quality of being in the real estate industry?
I love providing people information and choices. As long as they make informed choices, then there's no wrong choice for them. They just need the information, and that's what Alex and I help to do. We help to provide the information to them that we've gained through our experience, through our licenses, and through our transactions.
And the most important, what's the most rewarding part about working with me?
Of course, because Alex is phenomenal and our whole team is phenomenal. That's why.
The restaurants we
We always
frequent.
have fun.
We only do filet mignon around here.
The restaurants we frequent. So we are making an extension for closing for one of my clients. He didn't sign in time, so that kind of pushed everything back. So whenever you're working with your lender and they send you some documents to sign, you want to get them signed. You want to read it right away and sign as soon as possible, because delay in signing could delay your closing, which is happening right now. I got to extend the closing. Other than that, we're good to go. I'm gonna send this over there for her to sign. And then I'm gonna give her a phone call to let her know it's in her email to sign, and that we need that signed as soon as possible, like right now. Closing deals over here, man. That's all we do, man. We in the office all day, every day, 9 to 5, then 5 to 9. I sent you an email. It's an extension to close on Monday. If you can please sign it, and I'll send it over to the agent so that way they can, get off my rear. So that's our client. We're looking to close on Monday. Getting her to sign the extension right now. As soon as I come back, I'll send it over to the listing agent so we're in the clear. And yeah, man. Are we still going to Starbucks? We got the tax business up and running today, man. Thank you, God. Man, without God, none of this would have been possible, bro. It was a great tax season. Hey, we flourishing, baby. What's up, boss? I'm doing good. Can I do like a, what is it, a strawberry dragon fruit with coconut milk?
So the strawberry and dragon fruit are two different ones. I can combine them both if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be cool. With coconut milk.
Gotcha. What size?
The big kind. Venti. And then a shot of espresso. Not in it.
Just on the side.
Yeah. Yep. What do you want? Iced coffee with cream and sugar.
Pink drink?
He mixed it for me. It's a dragon fruit and what was this again?
It's the venti pink drink, and it just has the mango dragon fruit.
Looks good.
Yeah, it is with coconut milk. Good. Yeah. with coconut milk, gas. And then of course I got my espresso because your boy be going non-stop and I need that energy.
Charles,
Yeah. What's up, man?
it's been a minute, buddy.
How you
Haven't
doing?
seen you. Good.
You still upstairs?
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm on the other. I switched offices.
Let me get a card. I want to come see you, man.
I only got the digital card here, so.
Wait, send it to me right here.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, same stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
How's
I need-
business? How's everything?
Good, man. I've
Good?
been doing a lot of content and stuff, man.
Here, did that.
Boom, I already got it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you a call.
All right.
You
Good
want
to see you, man.
you down?
I'm sorry.
Are you down for like
For what?
the interview, man?
No,
We're gonna sit down and talk about. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get with you. All right. I don't know what y'all talking about, but we flourishing over here, with or without you. But we a team over here. We always stick together, so it's always we're gonna flourish together. Plain and simple. But that's it for today, guys. That's what we had planned. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Send me a message, send me a DM, connect with me on all my socials. Reach out to me, send me a message. I'd love to connect with you guys as well. Peace.